everyone, welcome back. It's Sabrina. I'm so excited to have you here because I created a tag. So as you guys might know from my description, I live in Michigan, so we are under a lot of quarantine rules right now. It's stressful, but it'll be fine. So I work in a hospital, so I'm not trying to make any light of the situation. I am just trying to forget about it and be safe as best I can and stay at home. So I've created a stay-at-home quarantine reading tag. I have all the prompts on my phone and I'm just gonna go through the prompts and I'm gonna show you the books I've picked for those prompts. The first prompt is read a fantasy novel you've been dying to read. I chose An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This book is semi-fantasy. We're still set in the real world, but the synopsis is, every enchantment has a price. Isabel's a prodigy portrait artist with a dangerous set of clients, the immortal fair folk. But when she receives her first royal patron, Rook the Autumn Prince, she makes a terrible mistake. She paints moral sorrow in his eyes, a weakness that could cost him his life. Furious, Rook spirits Isabel away to stand trial for her crime, but something is seriously amiss in his world and they are attacked from every side. Forced to depend on each other for survival, their alliance blossoms into trust, perhaps even love, a forbidden emotion that would render both of their lives forfeit. What force could Isabel's paintings conjure that is powerful enough to defy an ancient malice of fairy courts? That sounds super exciting. I'm not super big into fantasy novels, but I can get into them more when they're like just barely fantasy. I have a hard time getting into them once we get into like actual like mystery characters. So we're getting into like actual fantasy characters like ogres and crazy stuff like that. I have a hard time getting into them when we're talking about those, but I think this book is going to be just enough fantasy for me to handle. Next is a book you've been meaning to read. Mine is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. This book is a romance novel. I'm excited. I really like adult romance. I think you guys have probably heard me talk about them before. So the synopsis for this book is, Stella Lane comes up with algorithms to predict her customers' purchases. A job that has given her more money than she knows what to do with and way less experience in the dating department than an average 30-year-old. It doesn't help that Stella has Asperger's or that French kissing reminds her of a shark getting its teeth cleaned by a pilot fish. Her conclusion, she needs a lot of practice with a professional, which is why she hires escort Michael Fan. With the looks of a K-drama star and a martial arts moves to match, the Vietnamese Swedish stunner cannot afford to turn down Stella's offer. And when she comes up with a lesson plan, he proves her willing to help her check off all the boxes, from foreplay to more than missionary position. Before long, Stella not only learns to appreciate his kisses, but to crave all other things he's been making her feel. Their no-nonsense partnership starts making a strange kind of sense. And the pattern that emerges, Stella, that love is the best kind of logic. Why can't I talk? I have not read very many books with main characters that have Asperger's or any kind of like mental delay, so I'm really excited to read this book. I think it's really going to give us a new kind of view on the autism spectrum, and I'm really excited for this book. The next prompt is a book that's set in the past. I chose The Prisoner of Night and Fog by Anne Blankman. What is going on with me? This book is about Hitler's niece. That had me sold. So basically, we're talking about Hitler's niece, who they call Uncle Dolph. We are going undercover with a Jewish reporter to find out all the crazy crap he's been doing, which already has me hooked because I like Nazi Germany stories. I don't think they're touched on enough. So I'm stoked for this book. I know it has a sequel. Does it say what it is in the back? It does. The sequel is The Conspiracy of Blood and Smoke, and I'm excited for this book. The next book I have is a book about family, and I chose Dumpling by Julie Murphy. So Willow Dean's mama is a ex-beauty queen, and Willow Dean is a plus-sized average girl, and her mom really wants her to be a model, really wants her to compete in pageants, but she wants her to lose weight as well. And Dumpling says, you know what? I can do it with my size. So she enrolls in this beauty pageant her mom is judging in as a plus size girl, and she encourages all these other plus size girls to go, and her and her mom come together at the end, and it just sounds like it's going to be such a good book. I've watched the movie, but I have not read the book, so I'm excited for this one. The next one is a book of your choice. I chose Night by Ellie Weasel. I have not read this book. I've heard great things about it. It's only about 100 pages long, but like I said before, I am a fan of Nazi Germany stories. I think they have so many untold stories we need to hear about. So I'm excited to read this book. I think it's going to be such a short read, but I think it's going to make a very big impact on me. So I'm excited for that one. The next one is a series you've been wanting to start. Mine is the Selection series by Kiera Cass. I've heard really good things about these books. I actually just bought the whole series because I'm a mess. And I think it's just the first 4 books, but I'm a mess and I'm excited for it. So the synopsis is for 35 girls. The selection is a chance of a lifetime. The opportunity to be swept up in a world of glittering gowns and princess jewels, to live in a palace and complete for the heart of gorgeous Prince Maxid. But for America's singer, being selected is a nightmare. It means turning her back in her secret love with Aspen, who is a caste below her, and leaving her home to enter a fierce competition for a crown she doesn't even want. Then America meets Prince Maxon. Gradually, she begins to realize that the life she's always dreamed of may not compare to a future she never imagined. I'm excited for this series. I believe I heard someone say it was being made into a Netflix show, and I really like to read the book before I see the Netflix show. So I'm pretty excited for this. It is kind of a short book. It's about 300 pages, but I think this is such a good short read, especially for the readathon. The next one is a romance novel, so I picked The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is apparently going to be a movie too. I don't know why, but it is. This book is about 2 co-workers who are competing for the CEO position, and they highly dislike each other, but in reality they really like each other, but only on the outside do they hate each other. So we are literally just following their story of their romance, and I love adult romance stories. I don't know what my deal is with them lately, but I love them. My next pick is a murder mystery novel. This is Valentine by Elizabeth Wetmore. I guess this doesn't really fit the criteria because it's not a murder, but it's a brutal beating. Same difference, we're just gonna keep it. So this is about a girl who gets brutally beaten and left on someone's porch, and then we are kind of following the story through the justice system in Texas, and I know Texas is one of the harshest justice systems in the States, so I'm so excited to read this book. This was my book of the month for April. I have not read it yet, but look how beautiful this is. I'm obsessed with this. The next one I have is a book about a sick main character or a plague. This is a little bit distasteful, but I work with these sick patients every day, and my way of coping is to acknowledge it. That's my way of coping. So I'm going to read The Silence by Tim Lebbon. This is a movie with Kernan Shipka on Netflix. I have not watched it yet. I want to. My fiance won't watch it with me because he's a jerk. Maybe he'll watch this video and be like, maybe I shouldn't be jerking more. He probably won't. The synopsis for this story is, in the darkness of an underground cave system, blind creatures hunt by sound. Then there is a light, there are voices, and they feed. Swarming from their prison, the creatures thrive and destroy. To scream, even to whisper, is to summon death. Death for many years, Allie knows how to live in silence. Now it's her family's only choice of survival. To leave their home, to shun others, and to find a remote haven where they can sit out the plague. But will it ever end, and what kind of world will be left? I'm excited for this book. I think it'll be a good read that's not too similar to what we're going through, because we are talking about creatures who hunt by sound. I think this is very similar to The Quiet Place, so I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm pretty excited to read this book. I'll tell you how it is. And my next book is a book you think you can dive right into and forget about the world. So I chose After by Anna Todd. I've been meaning to read the rest of this. As you guys know, I read this when it was on Wattpad as a Harry Styles fanfic, and I never finished it. So this came out as a published version with a guy named Hardin, which is very similar to Harry to me, and I'm just gonna read it as Harry Styles. So I've been meaning to read this book. This book is so long. It's like 600 pages, and I did not expect that. We're gonna read it anyway. I have not read about half of it, so I'm super stoked for this one. Alright guys, that is my stay-at-home quarantine reading tag. I will be doing weekly vlogs for this. I'm giving myself to the end of May to finish it because we are in quarantine until the end of May. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys do this tag with me. I wish all of you guys would do this readathon with me. It's just gonna be a way to get your brain away from everything that's going on in the world, to stay at home and read a good book, and I'm excited. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
I've been feeling so down, yeah. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why I'm down, yeah? No friends of mine around.